In 1491, a Central African king converted to Catholicism, wrote personal letters to the Pope, and sent his own son to Portugal to study theology. This wasn't a colony, this was diplomacy between equals. And most people have never heard of it. The Kingdom of Kongo controlled a stretch of Central Africa spanning parts of what's now Angola, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the Republic of Congo. By the time Portuguese explorers arrived on its coast in 1483, Congo already had a centralized government, a capital city of tens of thousands of people, provincial governors answering to a king, and a functioning tax and tribute system. This was not a society waiting to be discovered. It was already a state. King Nzinga converted to Christianity and took the baptismal name João, and his son Mavemba Nzinga went further, becoming King Afonso I and turning Congo into one of the most literate, Christianized kingdoms in Africa. Afonso corresponded directly with the King of Portugal and the Pope as one head of state to another. He sent Congolese nobles to study in Lisbon. He built stone churches in his capital, Mombasa, Congo. For decades, this was a genuine partnership. Portuguese missionaries and traders, Congolese sovereignty intact. Then the economics of the relationship shifted. Portuguese demand for enslaved labor in their growing Atlantic colonies exploded, and Congo's own elites began supplying captives from wars and raids to Portuguese traders on the coast. Afonso himself wrote increasingly desperate letters to the Portuguese king, describing how the slave trade was tearing his kingdom apart from within, with his own nobles kidnapping free subjects to sell for European goods. He begged for it to stop. It didn't. Over the following 2 centuries, the kingdom fractured under the weight of that trade, civil wars, and Portuguese colonial encroachment, eventually collapsing into competing factions by the 1800s. But its early history complicates the whole story people think they know about African kingdoms and European contact. This wasn't first contact followed immediately by conquest. It was over a century of sovereign, literate, Christian African statecraft conducted on Congo's own terms before it was destroyed by the trade its own rulers ultimately couldn't control. 250 years of American history is deeply tied to stories like this one on the other side of that same Atlantic trade. Subscribe to You Gotta Know for the histories nobody taught you.